You've got an accountant, you've got Xero, so why does it feel like you're still in the dark when it comes to your business's finances? Hi, I'm Ray Armand, and I help business owners like you go from not quite sure what you're doing to confidently managing their numbers inside Xero without second guessing every click or staying up late Googling things like, how do I fix a VAT mistake in Xero? Does that sound familiar? Well, today we are diving into what your accountant is not telling you about Xero and why that silence might be holding your business back more than you realize. Now, here's what most business owners think, and maybe you've thought this too. I don't need to know all this stuff. That's what my accountant is for. That's a very common phrase that I hear. And sure, your accountant will do your tax return, and maybe they do your VAT return, and also possibly your payroll. But here's what they won't do for you. And I'm telling you this not to scare you. I'm telling you this not to suggest that you change accountants, because I bet your accountant is amazing. They're doing a great job at what they are engaged to do. But I think there is confusion in the business space around what people understand their accountant's responsibility is. They assume that once they have an accountant in place, that's it, their business finances are all done. There's nothing further for them to do. But that's not the truth. And it's not because you have a bad accountant. It's just because that's not what their core job is, unless they start offering more advisory support, which isn't as common as you would think. Okay, so here's typically what your accountant won't do, what I don't see accountants doing, because it's not part of their typical role. They will not help. But if you're a cash poor business, and by cash poor I mean you're struggling with having enough money in the bank to pay yourself, to pay your team, to pay suppliers, even if you're profitable. So if you're a profitable business but you're struggling with cash, your accountant is probably not helping with that. Your accountant is not going to have the time or the capabilities, unless you're paying them simply for it, to show you how to use Xero day to day in a way that makes sense. Your accountant is not going to point out that one bank rule that's miscategorizing your Stripe income in a way that's causing real confusion when you run reports. They're not going to go into that level of detail, okay? And your accountant is not going to tell you that your report's in Xero off because of a mistake 9 months ago. They'll give you some high-level overview, but they're not going to be able to delve into and look at every single transaction to give you that granular detail. Okay? The truth is that you can outsource the work of your accounts preparation, your tax return, but you cannot outsource the responsibility of making sure that all those underlying numbers are correct. If something goes wrong, it's your business at the end of the day, not theirs. It's not your accountant's job to make sure that your business runs smoothly, that you are making those business decisions based on true numbers. That is your job. And so you have to be careful by not having this mindset that you've got an accountant, so you've outsourced everything to do with your finances. That's a dangerous mindset to have. If you have an accountant, they are there to fulfill a very specific role, and they may offer some additional advisory services around that. You cannot outsource the responsibility. That responsibility falls on you as the business owner. Okay, and I run training sessions, and in those training sessions, like I run a live training session that I do, and I help people to understand some of this, how to jump into their Xero and understand the numbers. And I will pop a link in the comments below or the description if you would like to sign up to one of my future live training sessions. But the point being, in these training sessions, I get people to engage in the chat and tell me their thoughts, and we ask various questions throughout the training. And I even open up for like a half an hour Q&A session at the end. So I've heard loads of things from different people who are using Xero across the UK and across the industries, okay? And people often say, I've had Xero for ages. I've got an accountant, but I just don't know if what I'm doing in Xero is right. They tell me that they are self-taught, or sometimes that they've come from Sage, or they've always used spreadsheets, and now they're in Xero and they're just not sure what to do. And a lot of them feel like, I feel like I should just know this by now. They're in their head, they're thinking, I should know this by now. Why don't I know this? So they're feeling lost when it comes to Xero. They lack that confidence, and they feel like there's something they are missing. And the worst one that I hear is that people say, I didn't realize that there were so many mistakes until it was flagged to me by my accountant like a year down the line when they were preparing my accounts. And by that stage, it was too late. Okay. And I want to remind you of something that I often say in my videos. If you're saying to yourself now, I'm just bad with numbers, I want to tell you, it's not about being bad with numbers. It's just that you haven't had someone show you how to use Xero in a way that actually works for your business. So it's not that you're bad with numbers, it's that you haven't been shown how to use it properly. And you don't need to become an accountant to do this. That's not what I'm trying to get you to do. I'm not trying to encourage people to become accountants, but I'm trying to encourage you to become proactive business owners who actually invest a bit of time and understanding into their numbers to help them make decisions. Because if you don't understand how your numbers are doing, how they're working day to day, then you are making decisions in your business with a blindfold on. And if I'm honest, you cannot fix what you don't see. So if you are not aware that there's creep on your margins, there's no chance you can fix that. So you have to have this visibility to be able to make those decisions. So here is a sort of mindset shift I would like you to consider when it comes to your accounting or bookkeeping software, when it comes to using Xero. I want you to think to yourself, if you are thinking Xero is a place to just keep things tidy, keep HMRC happy, keep the taxman happy, I want you to now think Xero is not just a place to keep the taxman happy. It's your business financial control panel. It's your financial control panel, like if you're flying an airplane or you're driving your car and you've got your dashboard. It's your dashboard or your control panel for you to actually know what's happening in your business. So you need to see Xero from that perspective. And most business owners will only open up Xero for deadlines. They think, oh, great, there's a VAT deadline, there's a tax submission, or year-end accounts, I must open up Xero now and get on top of things. And it's too late. So what I want to encourage you to do is to change your perspective on that. What if you could use Xero to spot profit leaks before they end up costing you massive amounts of money, before they end up costing you that hard-earned profit? What if you could run a report in Xero and at a click of a button actually have something that's going to give you information, something that you understand what it's telling you, and you can make a decision from that? What if you knew your numbers and you knew it to the point that you had the confidence to make that new recruit, to make that new hire, or the confidence to raise your prices or cut spending because it was all visible there for you? And that's what typically your accountant is not showing you, because it's not their job, unless you're engaged with management accounts, with FT services, that it's not their job. You haven't engaged them to go into that level of detail. But it can be yours. With the right system, the right setup, and the confidence to know what you're looking at, you can do this. It takes a little bit of initial setup, and then it really is something that is 10 to 15 minutes once a month. It's not a big commitment, but you get so much value for doing it. And so if you want to learn more about doing this, you can join one of my free training sessions. I run them regularly. And like I said, I'll pop the link in the description or the comment below. Okay. And join in. The types of comments I get from people who join the training are, I didn't realize how much easier this could be. It's actually not that complicated. People say things like, now I actually understand what my profit and loss means. They come into the training session never having run a profit and loss, and now they actually understand what it means, and they've customized it and added formulas into it. And they say, I wish I'd done this years ago. What we focus on is, in that training session, I'll touch lightly on how you can focus on getting your Xero set up properly, how you can make sure that those reports have accurate information, and how you can customize those reports. Then at the end of the training session, if you want ongoing support and a deeper dive into these areas, I do talk about an opportunity to join my program, my Become a Xero Hero program, which is a framework, pre-recorded videos, a community, live Q&A sessions, all the shebangs to get you where you need to be. But the free training that I do will take you the first step of the way there if you want to begin this journey. So if you want to stop feeling like you're just guessing and you want to start feeling like the CEO of your business, then sign up to one of my free training sessions, and also like and subscribe this YouTube channel, because I will constantly release content to also help you on that journey. So to finish off, I just want to say, if you're doing your own bookkeeping in Xero or doing the bookkeeping for other people in Xero, and you're tired of not being 100% sure of whether you're doing the right thing, it's time to stop patching it together with YouTube. I mean, you're on YouTube here if you're listening to this, okay? Remember, this is your business, it's your money, and it's your future and the future of your family. So let's change our mindset. Let's commit to learning how to do it, get it right, and get that confident feeling so that you can finally make decisions not wearing a blindfold. Okay. Thanks for watching. And if you have any particular area of Xero that you would like me to cover, or a topic that's been really plaguing you and you're like, oh, I would wish I knew the answer to this around Xero or understanding your numbers, please drop a comment below. And if you hit that subscribe button, then you'll be notified the next time I release a video. Thank you.